What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we're doing another mixed coin roll hunt from, I think we got some of these at a Fifth Third Bank in the Kroger, and the rest of these came from one of my local Wells Fargos. We've got about $35, that's not right, what do I have? I've got $30 in nickels, $25 in dimes, $100 in dollars, and $100 in quarters, and you can see we've got a little bit of markings on these. Perhaps they've already been searched, we'll see, because not all coin roll hunters look for the same stuff. But I'm excited to get into these, and I know you guys, just from the viewership on the site, you tend to like these mixed coin roll hunts as well. So if you do, make sure you stay tuned. I'm looking forward to getting into them. We're going to do the nickels, the dimes, the dollars, and finish with the quarters. So let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and open up one customer wrapped roll and one bank wrapped roll. Let's not do that one. We got a nice older nickel on this one. Let's take a look together on both of those. And I'm just going to open them and quickly thumb through them to see if we can find anything old or interesting. For nickels, typically we're looking for our war nickels, which are 1942 to 1945. We're looking for buffalo nickels, and we are looking for the really old V nickels. And then anything between 1938 and 1959 we hang on to as a find, simply because the mintages were a bit lower, and I'm actually doing a collection of them. I've created tubes of them. We've also got a whole bunch of varieties and errors that are out there, and I do have a document in the description down below this video that I use, and you're welcome to download for yourself. I also, and I've moved it somewhere, I have the Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book. I'll put it on screen for you. That is also a great resource to use for hunts like this. So we got a nice older looking one there. So let's go ahead and check this out. Let's see here. That's an 84. And I will go back through these and look for those various die varieties and errors from the mint. But just quickly with you, I wanted to see if we could find anything old. All right. Well, nothing in those first two. So I'm going to go ahead and keep hunting, and I'll bring you in as soon as we find something. So we're about 5 rolls in, and you can see I've got my Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book. I finally found it, put up here on the desk. Makes it a lot easier to reference. I have come across my very first find. It's a 1952. I already checked the back to see if we had a Denver or a Philly, and was actually checking the book to see if we had any errors or varieties that were interesting. And unfortunately, we don't. But we do have a 1952 for the hunt, so we're going to put it up here as our first find. Same roll towards the back end of it. We've come across our next find. We've got ourselves a 1941, and it's a Philly. So bringing in here around roll number 8, we're about a quarter of the way through the roll, and we've got our next find. It is a 2009 Denver. Now, for those of you that don't know, 2009 was a very low mintage year. I think it had to do with the recession, but 2009, the mint just didn't make as many coins to release into circulation. And most of the time, the nickels in the early 2000s and even later 2000s, there's about 1 billion of them made between Philly and Denver. And in 2009, there were only about 100 million combined, maybe a little less between the Philly and Denver. So super low mintage. I hang on to all of them. Not a lot of value here, especially since this one is worn, and it looks like we've got a little ring of death on the back, but still something I'm going to hang on to because I think it's interesting. Well, we are all the way to the last roll and just about through it, and we've managed to find the almost oldest nickel of the Jefferson nickels. We've got ourselves a 1939. It looks like a Philly, and there is, I believe, a DDO and a DDR on this guy. I'll put it under the scope here in a second, and if I happen to see it, I'll bring you in, but odds are I don't have it, and even if I did, this is a pretty beat-up coin. Well, that last roll wasn't quite done. We have one more little gift here. It came up obverse facing. We've got ourselves a decent-looking 1958, and it's a Denver, and the Denver does have a couple of repunch mint marks and possibly a double die reverse. I can't recall. But that definitely does not look like a repunched mint mark. Let's just check some of the other lettering just in case. I'm not seeing any doubling there or down here. So we have a 1958 for the board. That's going to give us 5 finds so far, and I doubt we'll find much here. I'll go back through these. Let's just do it now. Well, let's do this. We've got a 75 Philly, 21, 22, and these all look new, so nothing there. So really quickly as a recap, we've got ourselves a 1939, a 1941, a 52 Philly, that 58 Denver we just found, and that 2009 Denver. So out of 15 rolls, that's not too bad. I'm used to hunting full boxes, and we get a lot more out of that, but I'll take these few finds. I do have a box of nickels started back there where I am collecting from 38 all the way to 59, both Philly and Denver, trying to complete tubes of them. So these guys will all get filed away, and even have a tube for the Philly and Denver 2009. So those will go in tubes, and we're going to go ahead and move on to those dimes. All right, so we're moving on to the dimes here. I'm going to open these really quickly on camera, and we're just going to look through them for silver because that's all I really do these days when I look at dimes. Occasionally, I'll really fully coin roll hunt them. But for those of you that are curious, a silver dime is going to jump right out at you. And sometimes they'll be dirty, so you do want to take a look at the dirty ones. But typically, they'll be a solid gray color. You can check the years. They will be 1964 and earlier. And I do like to take a little bit of extra time when looking at them because, like I said, you will get some dirty stuff. And this time, we got a penny. So let's see if I can get a year off of that. Can't really see. Looks like maybe a 1998. You will find some misstuffed dime rolls and penny rolls from time to time. But I typically look at dimes for silver. I do, in the document, the description down below this video, have other things you can look for. The key thing I would look for if I were you is that 1996 W. It means it was minted in West Point, and I've never found one in circulation. I know you can buy them. I've seen them at my local coin shop, and I'm making a mess with these because they're hard to get out. But that's kind of the only other thing it's really super interesting to look for. There's a couple other things like some proof reverses on, like, I think it's the 68, 69, and 70, and I found those in other videos. They're actually not too hard to find, so I don't always look for them. And with that, we're just going to keep going through here. If I don't find anything, we'll just fast forward through this so you're not watching me fight with these dimes. But if you do find a silver dime, they're worth about $2 these days, maybe $2.25. I haven't really looked at the actual price of them based on melt value in a little while, but not super valuable. So if you're a silver hunter, I would invest my time in something else, but hunting dimes can be a nice change of pace. All right, well, I am not seeing any silver in any of these, so let me get these off the table, and we're going to go ahead and move into those dollar coins. Well, I went ahead and dove into those dollars. I'm actually just got the second roll open. We're, I don't know, about 10 coins in, and we've come across our first find. This one is actually from, I believe, Canada. See here, we got a 2013. It's kind of an ugly. I think they call these loonies. It is a $1 coin, and it does look like we've got some sort of maple leaf privy on it, so don't know if this is originally sort of like a commemorative or a special coin or something like that, but it's a foreign. I'll take it. So far, it's been a lot of just really beat up older dollars, Sacagawea dollars. Nothing special so far. No wide rims or innovation dollars or anything like that. So we're going to keep on going. With only 4 rolls, I don't expect to find much. Well, that's all we found out of those dollars, but like I said, not surprising with so few rolls of dollars. And if you're interested in hunting dollars, I do recommend getting a couple of albums and trying to fill those out with BU coins, because dollars can be a little slow and there's not a whole lot to look for from a numismatic standpoint. So cool to find this Canadian, but nothing else in there. And we're going to go ahead and jump onto these quarters, and I'm kind of interested. I don't know if these circles around the wraps mean that they've previously been searched. And I think I said at the beginning of the video that not all coin roll hunters look for the same things. So I'm going to go through these. Definitely look at every quarter for perhaps I could find some DDOs or mint errors or DDRs that this particular hunter might not have been looking for. So let's jump into it. And again, we'll be using our Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book as a reference. Well, I'm getting into the very first roll, and I called it. We have actually found a little minor DDR here on the 2015 Homestead. This is the Philly. If you're unfamiliar, the Homestead has about a bazillion, actually it's about 168, I think, 180 DDRs, and most of them present in the windows on the reverse of the coin, and you can see right here in the window, that little extra window pane there is, in fact, a double die reverse. And if I can find the exact one on Variety Vista, I'll go ahead and throw it on the screen so you know what number it is. These typically don't command a whole lot of value, maybe $1 or $2, but still pretty neat to find. So same roll, bringing you right back in. Just a handful of quarters later, we've come across a, what do you call this? This is the 2023 Bessie Coleman. And we've got the beginnings of a die chip up here in the on the top of the biplane. Normally we see a great big die chip here on the wing, here or here, but you can see we've got a little bit up here. So something is not quite right up there. And we've got a little bit of a die chip right here on the bottom biplane wing. The other thing we usually look for, I already checked this one. We also look for the NQ's error, where you can see a doubled E and a doubled C down here, and it's really sits pretty far away from the original E and C. This one doesn't have it, but I haven't priced this one in a little while. I think it can go for a few more bucks, but if I can find it on eBay, I'll throw some comps on the screen. So we're getting into roll number 5 here, and the bane of all coin roll hunters that hunt customer wrapped rolls is this. This roll, I just laid it out. We've got one Jefferson nickel, 2020. We've got two Jefferson nickels, 1972D. We have 4 Jefferson nickels, 2021 Philly, and a 19. That's actually a decent looking 1954. That's actually would have been a find in our nickel hunt. Now, it has some really nice luster on it, but it's got a lot of wear. That is pretty cool. I guess I'm kind of excited about that. We'll hang on to that. Did we have any more? I think I saw one more. Yep, we had one more. We had ourselves a 2004. So that is shorted me by $1.25 minus a quarter. That was $1 short on this roll because of all the nickels. And the reason if you weigh these, you can get away with it is that a nickel weighs about the same as a quarter. So you can replace a few of them and the rolls will come up pretty similar in weight. But I guess I am excited to find this 1954. Could use a little TLC, but it is nice looking. Getting into roll number 6, but before I do, I did find in that last roll a pretty decent looking bicentennial Denver. I did check it for the DDR or the DDO, and unfortunately it doesn't have it, but still a nice looking bicentennial I'll probably hang on to. But I just wanted to bring you in here because, again, I laid this one out, and again, we got 5 nickels, and I'm starting to think that is not an accident. So we're up here on roll number 8, and I wish I could say it's gotten better, but look at all the nickels that I've gotten stuffed in these rolls. I did want to bring in here, though, roll number 8. We did find the, I think they call this the cuff DDR. And what it is we got a little bit of a extra cuff on the outstretched arm of George Washington, wherever it went. There it is. And it's this little piece of metal right here, this little doubling of the cuff. I'll put a comp image from Variety Vista up on the screen. Well, that does it for our quarters, and while we didn't do too badly out of 10 rolls of customer wrapped quarters for numismatic finds or little variety/errors, what I did want to take a second to talk about was all of the nickels that were stuffed in those 10 rolls. As you see right here, this is actually 25 nickels, and that means I was shorted by 25 quarters. Now, 25 quarters is about it is exactly $5 and change. This actually only comes up to $1.25 in nickels, so I was shorted $3.75 in these customer wrap rolls. And that's kind of the ugly side or the unfair side of coin roll hunting. So if you're getting into this, it's going to happen. You're going to get shorted or you're going to get a little overage from time to time. And usually it's a handful of coins. 25 is ridiculous. Losing $3.75 on 10 rolls of quarters is just, it's not right. I'm probably going to report this to the bank simply because they got taken as well. They handed out $3.75 worth of dollar bills probably that, they gave to somebody who's basically stealing from them. So anyway, I will say I'm not too bent out of shape because this 1954 Denver really isn't so bad. It does need maybe a little acetone dip or something like that. But from a mint luster, you can still see behind all the grime and the detail, it's not a bad little nickel. As for our finds, as I said, we didn't do too badly. We got 2 Philadelphia bicentennials. This one's nice enough that I'll hang on to. We did find a Denver bicentennial that I'll also hang on to. Checked for the DDO, and it's not there. We did find one of the many 2015 Homestead DDRs. I showed you that earlier in the video. On eBay, these things are going a couple, $2, $3, $4. If I didn't already, I'll go ahead and put the Variety Vista image on the screen so you know which one this is, as well as an eBay comp. The coolest quarter that I found, in my opinion, is this 2021 DDR. It's the little cuff double die reverse. There is someone selling this right now on eBay for $9.99 plus some shipping. I couldn't find any recent sales for this, so hopefully that person gets 10 bucks, because I'd love to be able to say this is a $10 quarter. Even if I could get a couple of $3 or $4 for it, I would be happy. We also found the die chip up here at the top of the wing and a little bit on the bottom, and I did look it up. I couldn't find anything exactly like it, but these die chips, again, they can go $3, $4, $5 to the right buyer. I'm usually happy if I can sell them for $2 or $3. On top of that, we did find a couple of book upgrades. Now, I'm not going to show punching those down in this video, but we found a 1994 Philly. We got a 2004. This one was a Denver. We did come across a really nice 2006 Nevada. I think that was a Philly as well. And so was this 2007 Montana. They were just gorgeous, gorgeous quarters, and they are going to upgrade at least one of my 2 sets of albums. With that, I did go ahead and pull the nickels from our nickel hunt, which we didn't find a whole lot. Again, we didn't have a whole lot of nickels rolls to look through. I think we had 15, and our 2013 Looney in our dollar hunt. So all in all, not a terrible little hunt, but I know my customer wrapped hunts usually produce a whole lot more. So apologies if this one didn't meet the standard, but I have to show you what we find. And this one does sort of illustrate the downside of coin roll hunting. These hunts can be not so great sometimes. So if you're doing it because you think you're always going to get lucky and always find really good stuff, this hunt should show you that it's not always going to be the case. And in some cases, you may even lose quite a bit of money. So with that, if you did enjoy this one, or if you enjoyed any of my previous videos, let me know that by dropping down below. Leave me a comment, click the like button while you're down there. If you're new to the channel, or if you've been watching for some period of time, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could click on that subscribe button, then click on that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. Special shout out to all my channel members. Really appreciate you guys supporting the channel each and every month. And if you're interested in memberships, click on or look on down below this video. I have a link to my memberships page. With that, I hope you guys are all doing well, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, and hopefully the next one is much better than this one.